Hi, good afternoon, everybody. This is Carl Slicer at Best Hire, located in Vernon, Connecticut, and I'm interviewing a wonderful guest here today that has incredible answers, and I thought that my my sharing of this was very, very important to my business community. The lady on the other side of the screen here today is Ishrat Nazmi, who is a procurement specialist with Connecticut PTAC. Connecticut PTAC is an assistance center that is free to businesses in Connecticut. Thank you and welcome, Ishrat. How is your day going today?
My day is going wonderful, Carol, and thank you for having me. As you said, my name is Ishrat Nazmi. I'm a procurement specialist with Connecticut Procurement Technical Assistance Center. And if you don't know, our what we provide assistance to Connecticut business who are interested in selling their goods and service to the federal, state, and local government. So um, our service is absolutely free because we are funded by the federal government, Department of Defense, and also dual funded by Connecticut Department of Economic and Community Development. So, because it's federal and state funded, our program is absolutely free. It's a it's assistance center. We provide assistance with education, training, webinars, and resource. And the way we assist our client is by one-on-one counseling. We help our client with federal and state registration, providing resource, anything to do with federal government contracting and procurement. That's how we assist our client. And one of the key services that we provide is marketing. So we assist our client to understand where to start selling, how to set themselves up for the federal, for government procurement and government marketplace, and that is how we provide assistance to our client.
So, in short, what is PTAC's goal?
Our goal is to basically provide assistance to client um, who who are interested in selling their goods and service to the and state and local government. So, we thrive on helping small business and large business understand all of the technicalities of contracting, and help them to understand government language, which is, sometimes very confusing for many small businesses to maneuver through all of the rules and regulations, and to understand how to really find opportunities, how to market themselves to the federal government and the state government.
So, Ishrat, you're located in Hartford, correct?
I am located in Hartford, so we have 7 offices, and our headquarters in Groton, Connecticut. We have office in Rocky Hill, East Hartford, Hartford, New Haven, and a few other offices around the state. So we basically covered the whole state, every corner of the state.
And I think you said in earlier conversations you have an office at the Connecticut Veterans Affair in Rocky Hill.
That's correct. That's correct.
Wow. So
Yes.
you do reach out to veterans for this as well, right?
Absolutely. I mean, a lot of our clientele are veteran-owned businesses. We help with veteran-owned small business, and that the certification that they have for we help with assisting them to understand what are some of the requirements for that certification and how to apply for them, where to apply for them, and so we that's what we do. Excuse
So
me.
so if I was a veteran that was just coming home from, let's say, the Afghanistan war, and I had some specialties in mind that I thought that the private sector might be interested in, do I have to have my company up and running for a certain period of time before I contact you?
Well, yes, our requirement for for accepting a client is that it's a business that has the capability and the capacity to do business with the federal government. So before you can come to PTAC for assistance, we want to check that your business has some experience, some past performance, or you as a CEO or the owner has experience in the field that you are entering into business.
Okay, but there's not anything particular where it says you got to be in your a business 5 years or 10 years or anything like that.
No, no.
Okay, all right.
We make an exception. Actually, there's, we used to, require 2 years in business, but now we do not require that anymore because we also consider the owner's experience. Sometimes the owner has industry experience for 20 years, and they're going into business on their own, so that needs to be considered.
So here's an interesting, I think the business owner has to change their mindset because they have their glasses on. So I've got here today, and I've got these blinders, and I'm looking one particular way. And when I start thinking of my business friends, that particularly that are veterans, I think of a gentleman who's a veteran, and he has a roofing company. He has a great roofing company, and he has a successful roofing company, and I could go to him and I could say, hey, I think you need to check this opportunity out. And he would go, well, I just do small residential homes. And then I'm thinking, how many buildings does the federal government have that need new roofs in the next 30 years, you know? Um,
Absolutely.
and it's not just, like it's not like the courthouse in Hartford at the federal courthouse. Think about all the small homes that are on the New London subbase, where all your Navy men and women are housed. Those are two one and two story floor buildings, and there's dozens and dozens of homes. So when you start thinking about what the federal government does have, it's almost unlimited. But let's put it that
Yes.
way.
Absolutely. The federal government buys just about every commodity, and they buy insane amount of goods and service. They're spending over $4 billion in purchasing goods and service from small business alone. And the Congress created the Small Business Act in 1953, which created the Small Business Administrations. And they really, look out for small businesses. They have created programs such as Women-Owned Small Business, veteran-owned small business, small disadvantaged business, and 8A program. And these programs are really to help small business understand how, take piece of the pie of the federal government dollar that's being spent. And SBA is is the authority that is responsible for ensuring the federal government has a goal to have with small business participation, and they hold every agency accountable to make sure that those agencies have set aside programs and they're spending their dollar in with the small business communities.
So again, this keeps getting bigger and bigger the more and more I think about the possibilities. And this is that's part of the 3 points that I want to cover today is there's proof in the pudding and
Absolutely.
and what's happening here. For instance, um, the shorter time period for turnaround of payment.
Yes.
When a job is being done with the federal government and a bill is remitted, what did they change there?
Um, my understanding is that with the small business, uh, it's with certain certifications, it's the net uh, 20 payment plan changes. It's always beneficial to have those certifications and because when you are in a contract with the government, having those certifications changes your payment requirement with that contract.
But what I'm referring to is that a project was done, a bill was submitted. How much time turnaround time is there for the payment for the vendor?
Uh, are you referring to the payment? The payment, how long they should be getting paid?
Right, before they typically get their payment made to them. That has been shortened over the years.
It has, and as far as I know, excuse me, and as far as I understand and know, that when you have so the government has negotiate the purchase, the net 30 plan, or your payment plan with the government. But when you have a certification such as veteran-owned business, a small woman-owned business, or small disadvantaged business, those terms changes. They're much more smaller with people with certification,
Okay,
the
so
socioeconomic
so
certification.
the one that I've heard is the 30-day change. And
Yes,
that's what I'm referring to, as opposed to years ago, they could run it out, they could drag it out, they could not pay
correct.
you. There was $100 stapler being challenged on a $10,000 bill, and they would hold up the whole bill for $100 question.
Absolutely. I've dealt with clients who, rush to obtain their certification because it significantly changed their existing contract with the state government, because they wanted to get paid, because the government, state, federal, and local government will negotiate different payment plan if you have the certification. So it's absolutely, beneficial to have the certification with SBA, or with state government, such as small minority business certification with the state of Connecticut, or certification with the SBA, such as women-owned business, small disadvantaged business, veteran-owned business, 8A hub zone. Uh, so absolutely, these are really beneficial to have when you are entering into the government marketplace. And Connecticut PTAC, we assist client with those certifications, help you understand what are some of the requirements, where to go apply, what are some of the required documents you have to gather in order to submit those applications. So we help our client through those certifications.
So a press release that I picked up on, I uh, put the Small Business Administration press release that came out in 2020. I put that on my own website because I wanted other businesses to see this as a reference point. And that press release indicates that over 26% of the fiscal year 2019 U.S. federal budget was spent on small business. So 26%, that's huge. It's not
Yes.
5%, it's not 8%, it's not 10%. That's a quarter of that budget. And can you tell me a little bit how the federal government pushes that along to make sure that that happens?
Yes. So Um, SBA, man, as I said, the SBA is the authority that holds each agency, accountable for creating agency-wide purchasing goal with small business. And they release scorecards for each agency. So every year, the SBA negotiates um, uh, goals with each agency, whether it is Department of Defense, General Service Administration, any Veterans Affair. Every agency has uh, a goal that are set by SBA to spend their certain percentage of their dollar amount on each one of these socioeconomic certification holders. So they have maybe 10% on women-owned business, 5% on veteran owned business, 8A business. So they negotiate these percentage with each agency that has to, they have to spend with these, socioeconomic certification holders. Not only that, the SBA also mandate each agency and the prime contractor to put in their contract. They also, even the prime contractor has to spend certain amount of their spending with this small business. So there are numbers of laws and regulations that are out there mandated by the federal government to make sure the small business community is being utilized to actually access some of these contracts.
And that again helps make the point and facilitates the point. So it becomes if you're a small business and you submit a proposal to a vendor contractor of the federal government, and they need to fill that additional accounting effect. That's one more point that the advantage could be, besides the pricing, besides the due date, also small business, they get credit for that small business money being spent there.
Absolutely.
That
The prime contractor is also accountable. Not only the federal government is accountable, the prime contractor they hire, they are also accountable to spend certain amount of their dollar spending from that project with a small business certification holder.
is there is there other advantages that I'm not covering today that point out to the small business owner why they should do this?
Well, I would say dealing with the federal government, it's always, you can count that it is a fair procedures. That's my, that is, everything is, every dealings you do with the federal government is transparent. All federal spending is published, so it will all, you can count that the dealings that you have is secured, and it's really legit, and it also is fair. Um, that would, I would say, that's another advantage of doing business with the federal government. And um, it takes some time. I would have to say that it's not easy. It takes some time to really learn the federal government language. But once you win one contract, it is much more easier to win back over and over, because the government contract, buyers know you, they know your business, they know your reputation, so it's easier for the government buyers to come back to you.
To your point, there's a number of interesting search engines that are available online, and one can look up an incredible amount of information, whether you specialize in a product or you want to know who your local contractors are with the federal government, or you want to see somebody who's spending money on engineering because you have a relationship with engineering consultants, or you want to reach out and make a connection because of a particular type of nonprofit association affiliation that's ongoing. And I've spent quite a bit of time looking through at least a half a dozen search engines, but there's one that I want that I'm getting really excited to in stage two with me, and that is your NAICS code recommendations and submit. And can you explain that a little bit? Now that I got my cage code, woohoo!
Yes. So what you refer to is the North American Industry Classification Code, or in short, we call it NAICS code. Your NAICS code, when you start, your first journey with the federal government, number one thing, you should sign up with a System for Award Management, which is sam.gov. And we help, as PTAC counselor, we help you to identify your NAICS code, or North American Industry Classification Code, which is based on your commodity, based on your industry. There's a code that is tied to your your industry. And also the most important thing is that uh, SBA has a size standard which is associated with your NAICS code. And so in order for you to, the way the federal government classify you as a small business is based on your NAICS code, because your NAICS code tied to your annual receipt and the number of employees you have. So based on that NAICS code, there's a chart called the SBA's size standard chart, and you look it up. You look up your NAICS code, and that tells you whether you are a small business or a large business. And it's a misconception. Some people think that small business is really small, and but when you look into that small SBA's small size standard chart, a lot of the NAICS code, the threshold of income is up in millions. Nothing is less than 5 million. So, their construction NAICS code that the requirement is like 40 millions in order for you to classify it as a large business. So, a lot of business will fall under small business, and not a lot of people realize that.
Ishrat, what about the free submit monitoring process that your PTAC offers as well?
Yes, so we also offer as one of our service, we offer a bid match program, which is basically we have software that goes out and search for um, uh, uh, bid opportunities that are classified under your NAICS code, and it will find these opportunity from state, federal, and local government web portals, and bring it to you via email. And you will receive an email from BidMatch, and you will open up the email, and you will see that solicitation that are open, and you can look and understand the solicitations. If it looks good for your business, you can submit a bid opportunity. And Connecticut PTAC, we help our client understand how to read those requests for quote, request for proposal, help our client understand how to prepare a bid proposal, how to submit a bid proposal. So we help our clients with all of those services.
Well, now that I got my cage code, I'm looking forward to being able to do that as soon as I wrap up the capability statement that you're helping me with.
Absolutely. And I want to mention one more thing, that as I mentioned earlier, that we help our client with market research. And one of the key reason we do the market research is help our client understand what should be their target agency. Before you start, we help you to understand which agency is actually buying what you're selling. And it's important, once you know that this is the agency, and there are, as I said, federal government is transparent, and there are websites that will publish all of the federal government contracts out there. And using those tools, we can identify which agency is really buying what you're selling. And once you know um, what agency you want to target, we can help you to contact their small business utilization office. We help you to understand how to do business with that agency, how to build relationship with that agency, and what are some of their procurement procedures and processes that that will help you to understand how to do business with that agency.
Yeah, this is great reminders just for me, and I can tell you that a recording like this is important because there's so much data that we've covered, and we got about 5 minutes
Yes,
left here.
yes,
That I like the ability to replay certain points and hear them over again. And one of the things that I'm going to recommend in a future interview that we do is maybe we can interview some of your success stories of people that you've helped brought on board and helped change their life. And as I think about all of my friends at the Chamber of Commerce in Tallinn that I know that own businesses, I'm saying, okay, they own a marketing business. Well, they can do marketing too with the federal government. They own a roofing
absolutely.
company. They can do business with the federal government. And I'm going through these in my mind, and I'm saying, okay, I haven't found one yet that does not have the ability to do business with the federal government. The state of Connecticut as well here. but my main interest is the federal government, maybe because there's a few more things, and the fact that my company, my clients are all in all 50 states. I'm not limited just to just Connecticut. Um, so the other point I want to bring out here and an emphasis is also every U.S. federal government agency has a small business specialist set aside awaiting to connect and open relationships with small business in the United States. Can you elaborate on that?
Yes. So each agency will have their own small business utilization office, or they call it OSDBU. Their main purpose is to help small business. They can when you connect with your small business liaison office, and they will help you to understand how to market your business to their agency, how to connect with their agency buyer or how to they will help you to see the forecast for their spending. They will help you to understand what are some of the requirements for their set aside program, which is for the small, socioeconomic certification holder. Um, each agency is required to spend, as we discussed before, certain amount of their dollar amount set aside with the socioeconomic cert holder, and the small business liaison office will help you understand um, what those requirements are, and most importantly they will help you with um, any technical issues that you have getting into their system or understanding their procurement process. All of these government agencies have all different portals and softwares and technologies that they use, and the small business office is a great way to connect with each agency and understand how to do business with that agency.
We only got a couple of minutes here left. This is jam-packed, and I'm really happy that we were able to put this together. And I can also say to my listeners that this lady has been in my corner. I ran into some issues that took me sideways for a little while, and she was always there, being strong for me and giving me the encouragement to keep going through, that we'll get through it. And she was. Um, you walk into a room and there's 100 people there, and this person comes up to you and greets you and smiles and says, "Hi, how are you? Thank you for coming today." This is the first picture that I have of Ishrat when she's been helping me. And that's a warm feeling to somebody that's inexperienced in this arena that we're in. And I'm glad that I met you and your team along the way. So,
You are
you're
absolutely welcome, and it was my pleasure to help you.
Ishrat, at the top of the display here, I just want to make sure that everybody knows how to contact you, just to make sure the information is good there.
Yes.
Does that look good? The your phone number again in New London is the number.
Oh,
Do you have the number, the main office number?
yes, that's the New London number. My email address is inazmi at sector sector.org.
Okay, all
And
right.
our and you can also find me from our website, ctptag.org, and you can find list of all of our team members and our contact information.
Well, that's wonderful. Thank you, and thank your boss for allowing us to take the time to do this today. And I'm glad
Yes.
that you were comfortable with the interview here, because I know a lot of times businesses will get very tied down with legal, we want to review it before, you do anything with it, that kind of thing. But I think you've known me by now for the last several months working on this case,
Yes.
who I am and where I'm coming from. So, uh, listen, you have a great summer, and I'm ready to take you to stage two. Um,
Okay.
so off we go, and I appreciate the time, and we'll be in touch soon.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming on today. Take care.